want to warm up with your comps?
Now I want to warm up with this.
No, that's the meat. We need the warm up. The salad at the beginning of the meal.
Who eats salad at the beginning of the meal?
Oh, restaurants. Warm up.
I'm trying. 6s.
6s? Okay.
Do we all need headphones?
No, not if you're doing 6s.
I'm saving.
So, there's a couple different ways that you can use those, right? So the way that you're using them right now, they're like 8-note triplets, right? Triplet, 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 triplet. Or I guess 16-note triplets. But anyway, you can also use 6s in the same, you can use them at the same speed as regular 16th notes, but if you do that, you have to change it up a little bit, right? Because what's 6 plus 6?
12.
And how many 16th notes are in a bar?
16.
16. So 16 minus 12 is what?
4.
So you can use 2 6s and a what?
4.
And a 4, or a quad. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. So watch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4. Yep. So those kinds of things. In fact, one of the first big metal fills that I ever learned was a combination of 4s and 6s. Mm-hmm. Have I ever shown it to you?
Nope.
Drop it real quick. I'll just show you real fast.
I'm gonna have to learn.
I remember it.
Yep.
Today.
From a Disturbed song. Came out in like 2010, I want to say. Right? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. And then after that, I just did 4s all the way around. That was just how I learned it. I could do it the other way if I wanted. My feet are real cold today. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But anyway, that was one of the big ones for me. I really liked that band when I was going to play drums. He didn't really play a lot of stuff that was fast, but he played very interesting patterns that were fun to learn. So.
Maybe.
So this is probably going to be the copyright section of the lesson. What the heck? All right. Okay, before you keep going, I'm going to play some recordings, so
fine.
if it's fine. So ready? I want you to listen for it. It wasn't that. That was a different one. That was close though. Oh, it's going into the chorus, isn't it? Here we go. Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yes, you actually heard the other snare in it. The first time he goes back to the snare, the second time he doesn't. But yeah, so there's that one. This was another one that I particularly enjoyed when I was first learning. I think it's off of. So like something like this might be easy for you, but it might also be complicated enough that you would have a hard time with it at first. I'm looking for the verse. See, the hi-hat and the snare stay consistent, but the bass drum is moving because it's in groupings of 5, but you leave out the 5. Yeah. So, I mean, you already have all kinds of bands that you're listening to and things that you're working through or whatever, but that was kind of what pushed me out of my comfort zone originally to work on things that were a little bit more complicated. That So, that's a fill that you could use. So you're hearing 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a at the end of it, but the beginning is good. There you go. That one was good. Alright. Cool. So that's why I definitely encourage side projects like that other one that you showed me the other day.
Dogwood.
Yeah, that one.
I actually got some new stuff.
You got some new stuff for it?
I'm turning it into Ellis Taparia.
Uh-oh.
Ah. Jazz, and you can show them at the end if there's time, okay?
Yeah. All right. Here we go. As requested, we'll jump into this. Okay. So we're on the 4 measure phrases now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you have a chance at home to try these?
Nope.
You didn't,
Nope.
You didn't copy them.
You're right. Okay. So. I don't want to frustrate you by trying to sight read this, but the worst that could happen is that it goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
And then we just pick it apart as normal. So, shall we try it? No?
I say no. That's over. for me.
Okay.
That's a little
Well,
over.
let's pick it apart. What do we have here? All the way. Yeah, for the most part, if it can be, but for the most part, you want the snare to be the note that's written. So, yes and no. What works better than Dooba Dooba here? Yeah. Okay, hold on. We're picking it through little by little, right? So now you've got the first measure, right? Boom, bop, up, mark, crash. And where is that? On what beat?
1, 2, 3.
So this is held over, so that's tied. Boom, bop, rough bark, crash, 2, 3. So here is probably, this is a good example of a time where there's a note written here, but it's better to play the bass drum. Why? Why is it better to do bass drum here?
Because it takes less. It takes off your hands, so you can prepare for it.
Okay, I like that answer. I was gonna say it gives more emphasis to your half note. It makes it feel punchier when you have a bass and then the snare with the crash, rather than snare again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think emphasis, but I don't think your answer is incorrect. Yeah. That's how I would start it. Boom, ba, rough bark, crash, boom, bam. Okay, let's get the rest. This, you're gonna have to change up some things for this. What do you think? So what is this?
And
And?
2.
Not quite.
And a 2.
Uh-huh.
And a 3. And a 4.
Yeah, that's all rapid fire upbeats. Rough bark, 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 crash. Yep, and make sure they're all upbeats. A 1 and. All right, and then what's left?
Triplet.
That's a triplet?
1, 2, 3.
It's 3 notes, but that's not a triplet.
What are these?
So, staccato, tenuto, staccato. Oh, Dad probably knows what those are. Marching band days.
Yeah, staccato's short.
Staccato is short.
You mean stucco short?
Stucco. Think stucco. It's sharp and small.
Ow! I cut.
Uh-huh.
That hurts.
So, that's a short note.
Yep.
This is a longer note. So, yeah, on drums there's not a lot to be done with it, because you just, for, you know, longer durations and stuff, you can kind of hit, but if you, the best thing that I could think of would be like dot, dot, but even then, yeah, it's a little abrasive, so I don't think I would bother with it too much. So I would just play snare, bass, snare. And why would I do it in that order?
Because you don't want to have like, because this is short, like a little longer because it rings out and then short.
Okay. That's a good guess. My reasoning is actually simpler than that. Look at where the notes are in the measure. 2, 3, and 4. By doing snare, bass, snare, what's on 2? And what's on 4? Yeah. So it's kind of like your standard 1, 2, 3, 4. So that, boom, bop, and then that way you could also, after this, what do you have time for? Room. Da, boom, da, room. Yep. Okay. So now we gotta try to put it all together. Boom, bop, rough bark, crash, bop, crash. Crash. Da, boom, da. So the big one, you're gonna have to really count here. This looks like it would be the easiest part, but it's not because you have to make sure that the rough happens in the right spot.
Like, let's try it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this half.
Yeah, so what I'll tell you right now is that if you reverse a snare, bass, snare, or bass, snare, bass, it's not end of the world, right? It's not a big deal. As long as your accents are still correct, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
We always have good, better, and best. Or I guess, or bad or worst, I guess if we want to go that route. But you can play something that's correct, you can play something that's better. So for example, Dooba Dooba will work here, but Rough Bark Crash works even better. Right? So we want to try to, especially if we're taking the time to pick it apart, we want to go for best.
Yes.
But if it doesn't come out that way, it's okay. The big one is I want you to try to hang on to time no matter what. If you make a mistake, just get to the end. Land on one, even if it means you have to abandon some stuff. Okay? So I can show you how it goes, but I want you to try it first. If you then need to hear me do it, you can. But again, be careful here. What I might recommend is when you do that crash, you might do a hi-hat on 4 just to help keep time. Boom, crash, hat, rut, tzz, 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 tzz. I might just pedal a hat here to help keep B4. Okay? So do whatever you need to do, but make sure that you don't hold too long, but also not too short. Okay? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 3. Here we go. Because we have to do 4 bars at a time because we have a 4-bar fill here, right? So you play 4 bars at a time.
We have to do it again. Wait, we have to loop it.
Well, doing it one time doesn't lock it in your brain, right?
It is probably locked since you did it.
Well, hearing it does help. Okay. Okay, now this time I'm going to be a little bit tougher on you. So you're getting it and you're coming out very close to one, but we wobble just a little bit inside, right? Which is okay. Now I'm going to hold you a little more accountable. Not the metronome yet, but I'm going to hold you a little more accountable. Ready? 4 bars at a time and then go into it. 2, 3, 4, 2, ready, go. So instead of turning into a madman, just skip some stuff. Come back in. No big deal. Even if you drop this entire bar, like just let these go and then just end it with a dooba dooba and then jump back in. Whatever works. But like that, going crazy like that, the band director would stop and go, whoa, I don't know what the heck that was. It's better if you make a mistake, lay low for a little bit and jump back in, okay? Rather than making a bigger thing out of it. It's better to make, because don't try to catch up. That's like the worst thing to try to do other than just stop, is to try to squeeze all the notes in, but like accelerated or whatever. It's not a good strategy, okay? So if you miss something, that's okay. Da dooba dooba da boom da rum. Right? I ditched both of these first two notes and just went whatever, and I came back in. Okay? So if you make a mistake, no big deal, but let's not turn into a spazitron. Okay, dope? All right, good. Let's do it again. Especially that first one, I thought I was gonna throw you when you were doing upbeats and I was clapping downbeats. I'm like, he's going to fall off here. And you did not. You held strong with your upbeats, even though I was clapping downbeats.
I just have to go
just good.
After you.
What do you mean?
Like when you're... Like... I just don't go after you.
You're correct. However that registered in your brain, it was correct. It came out right. You landed exactly on one. You wobbled less than you've done so far. It was a very good run. Then the second one you turned into a spazitron. All right, ready? Is that the end of the world?
Yeah.
If you play bass snare or you play snare bass, it's the end of the world either way. It is much better that you land that exactly where it's supposed to be than you get this in the right order. Whether this is snare bass or bass snare is less important than making sure that hits right on the end of one.
And it did. And I got over your clapping downbeat, playing upbeat.
Good. All right, so last one before we move on is I'm going to put you to a metronome. I'll let you pick the tempo though. Give me a tempo and I'll tap it in. I was going to say, you don't want to play it that slow. Okay, about 115.
You said 115?
Let's see.
Ready? You did. You ditched things and you landed on one. That's a better strategy. I like that better than Spazitron.
You wanted to, though.
Throws me off. That throws me off. That's why you do it better.
Well, I'm doing the same thing just with less precision.
Yeah. Less precision makes it easier.
Well, that's good.
Yep. So you do it, not the metronome.
No, this is going to make you better. You did it without metronome. Then you did it with me. Now you're up to a metronome. We take it in levels. That was level 1, level 2, level 3.
I feel like this.
And you only messed it up one time. Like the metronome's not the devil because it messed you up one time. You'll be fine.
It messed me up all the time.
Wow.
So yeah, it is.
Why are you stepping on my stick? How am I supposed to pick it up?
You're not.
2, ready, go. just a tiny bit.
It sped up just a tiny bit.
Don't you think the metronome sped up?
Good try, dude.
That's the thing that's good about the metronome. Is if you start pulling just a little bit, you might pull me a little bit with you. Won't pull that. That's gonna go exactly where it's supposed to be.
I feel like
but the thing about that is you're only that far off, but you were able to hear it, which is good because that's gonna help you fix.
I heard this going with the metronome.
Yes.
Why?
Because your upbeats were a tiny bit late.
How? That's like a millionth of a beat late, and I'm supposed to do it half a beat late. So.
Well, I mean, a millionth of a beat you wouldn't even notice.
I know.
Half a beat you'll notice because half a beat all of a sudden you're with the metronome.
Yep.
Because with the metronome, those should be exactly. So see, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
It just means that it happens sometimes,
It means
which is okay.
Sped right up half a beat.
The metronome did.
Like this. Like this.
One of the simplest and yet hardest things to do is repeated upbeats. Because if you do upbeats for long enough, no downbeat at all to ground you. It's one thing if you're doing that. So if I'm going 1, a 3, a 3, a 4, a 1, and then I take that away. Yep. Eventually, what happens is your gravity moves to bop. That's what happens eventually. Some people take less. Some people take less time than others.
I took a millisecond to do it.
But other people take longer. As soon as you remove the downbeat, it becomes harder to hang on to repeated upbeats.
Also,
which is why doing it 4 times in a row is likely to pull your time a little bit. Because you're off the metronome, you're pulling against the metronome by doing upbeats.
Yeah, and the metronome's impossibly strong, so how am I supposed to beat it?
You're not supposed to beat it, you're supposed to work with it.
It's your best friend, especially when you record.
No.
Yes, sir.
You just started off just so you could have enough time to get in. Not my best friend. I'm waiting for the song.
I'm going to tell you a story, alright? There's another world in which I never had you play on the metronome at all. Never. Ever, ever. Okay? You thought your time was incredible. You played anything that you wanted along with songs and whatever. The very first time you go into a recording studio, they put a metronome on and they say, you have to be able to play the song to this. And you crumble and fall apart. And you absolutely cannot do it.
Yep.
Because you've never done it before. That happens to a ton of people. A ton of drummers.
And they're going to say, we don't need the metronome.
Guitar players, a lot of those people that get away without using metronomes. Like, for the most part, like, I think probably the 2 largest percentage of readers are probably piano players and violinists.
Yes.
Probably spend the most amount of time reading. I don't know if that necessarily means metronome. It should. But they tend to do those kinds of things. Whereas drummers and guitar players and bass players, they're in rock bands. They're just slamming and just having fun, doing as good as they think they can do. But every time you mess up on the metronome, your time gets that much tighter. So then what happens is you get to be 16 years old and you and your buddies go into a recording studio and you sit down and you lay down your track in like 5 takes or less. Boom, you knock it out, just taken care of. And your guitar player buddy, who's never played with one of these metronomes before, you're going to be frustrated with because he can't go in and record to the metronome. And you're going to think back on this moment right here and you're going to say, oh my goodness, Teacher Tim was right. So, I push you to do it because it will save you in the future. You can only play with the metronome as good as you do right now because I've made you use it for the last 5 years. And it has considerably tightened up your time. You were a rock at the Rachel concerts.
I can't even keep time all the time.
Boom.
I messed up on Just a Girl.
Sure.
Because I went a beat too early.
Sure. That happens. But for the most part, you're a rock. Without this, you would not have been.
I would have been.
And you can hear it when you listen to other drummers about your age. You can hear the difference. You can hear the drummers who have worked with the metronome. You can hear the drummers who have not.
Yeah.
You can hear the difference.
Yep.
They will speed up. They will slow down. They will come in on the wrong beat. All kinds of stuff happens. But you, every time you fall off of this metronome, you get that much better at getting that laser focus time. Okay? So, I know that it sucks. I know that it throws you off because it is strict. It does not bend. It's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Yes.
But it's worth it.
Eventually.
Just like every other time you get frustrated because I put something hard in front of you.
And
Right?
I'm trying to.
Everything that I put in front of you that's tough and it doesn't go well the first time, it's because it's going to make you better. All right? So I still think we need to be able to do this with the metronome. The last one was very close. I thought it was very good. All right? All right. You've played it several times in a row. You know how to do it. Just relax and lean into the metronome.
I just painted an odd picture in my mind.
Well, it worked because
Yes.
now we've done it enough times that you have it memorized.
That is
Were
why
you hearing the metronome right here?
a little bit like
Were you?
49%.
How did you feel about this?
I looked. I just saw the flashes and made sure I was on time.
Got it.
And I slowed down at the end because I was off beat.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that's what the metronome's for.
Yep.
You start to waver a little bit, and it acts as a guide rail.
And it's
So
it's
you start to get a
torture-
little bit too fast, whoop,s. You start to go a little too slow, whoops.
It's
You can
a
pull yourself back.
torturous method of making you better.
I think I always talk about it, so you probably heard it before, but when I was first learning how to play drums, my dad put a metronome on, and he said, you're going to play a straight rock groove. And you're going to play to a metronome for 20 minutes. If you do a fill, or if you fall off the metronome, I'm going to start the timer over. That was my first drum lesson.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
That was not mine.
It was not, because it was not fun. And here I try to make it fun. But I was an 18-year-old kid, so it was, and I wanted it, so I pushed through it anyway, even though it wasn't fun.
Actually, have me do that for 20 minutes.
Okay,
I'm going to do that
So-
for 20 minutes.
that's good enough for me. So now, we got to talk about this one.
I can't read it because of all this scribble. Why do you have so much scribbles on there? Did you get that wrong a lot? Did you have trouble with that one?
I did.
Is that Al's writing or yours?
All of this is Al's.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this shows that you were not good at this.
Start looking at it and try to figure it out, dude.
I don't make sense of it. That's why.
Look at the notes, not at the scribbles.
I'm looking at the notes.
So,
All I can see is scribbles, though.
what is this?
1
It's on beat 1. What is it, though? What kind of note?
short dotted
It's not short, but it is dotted. It's a dotted what?
quarter
Uh-huh. What's that?
on 2
Not on beat 2. If it's a dotted quarter, where is that?
and a 2 3
1 and 2 and
and a 2.
what is this? It's tied, but what is it? What's a quarter note plus an eighth note tied together? It's the same as a what?
A 16.
No.
I don't get it.
Same
He's
as a
done
quarter.
dotteds, dude.
How many beats does a dotted quarter note get?
2.
That's a half note.
One
Half
and a
note gets
half.
2 beats. gets 1.5, right?
Mhm.
So a quarter note gets how many?
1,
How much does an eighth note get?
2,
An eighth note gets 2 counts?
an eighth, a half one,
Half of a count. So if you take 1 plus a half, what do you get?
1.5.
Which is the same as what?
A dotted quarter.
A dotted quarter note. So, in other words, a quarter tied to an eighth note is the same as a what?
Dotted quarter.
So, in other words, we could say dotted quarter, dotted quarter, dotted quarter, dotted quarter, dotted quarter, dotted quarter, dotted quarter,
dotted quarter,
dotted quarter,
dotted quarter, dotted quarter.
and an eighth by itself.
Robot.
Holy moly. So, this, realistically, as tough as this looks, because to try to work all this out is really kind of crazy to try to figure it out. The secret is do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba.
And how many times do I repeat this?
Do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba, 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 ba-do-ba. Okay, so there's a reason I'm not telling you how many times. Why do you think that is?
4, 5.
If I tell you how many times, where are your eyeballs going to go? Over there somewhere. Where do I need your eyeballs to be?
There. It's 5. It's.
Okay, you're correct. But where did your eyeballs go? Exactly what I said. You went over there. So you're putting it all in your head in order to help you through it. But if something like this comes up in reading, what if I told you, okay, now this time play it, but end here? What if I told you this time end it here? You have to be able to read it, and you have to be able to stop at any point that I tell you. So if you can't follow it with your eyes, it doesn't do you any good. I just taught you a pattern. A 4 and 1 and a 3 and 4 and a 2 and 3 and a 1 and 2 and a 4 and. That way you can keep track of where you are in your bar. So that time you were adding 2 hits, which was staggering your do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba. You're adding an extra one. Do-ba-do-ba, a-do-ba-do-ba. Okay, so you have to be able to follow it with your eyes, and the way that I'm going to check that is I'm going to start taking away bars after I feel like you can do it.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, I got it.
Okay? Go ahead. Give me 4 bars at a time and then do that. Slower, because what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of tough. I want you to try to concentrate on counting it. 1, a 2, and a 4 and 1 and a 3 and 4 and a 2 and 3 and.
Why is that so 2? 1 and 4 and.
Because that's the second time. doo-ba-doo-ba, a doo-ba-doo-ba. Or it's the beginning of each measure. So that's the beginning of first measure, second measure, third measure, fourth measure. So that's why he has those there. But it's 1 and 2 and a 4 and 1 and a 3 and 4 and a 2 and 4 and a 1, 2 and a 4 and. I want you to try to physically count that to try to help you keep track of where the bars are.
Alright, so.
Okay, go ahead.
I cannot count.
Okay. It will help you. It's another thing that is hard, and when you take the attitude of I can't, that doesn't do you any favors.
I cannot right now.
Okay. Right now that's a much better attitude. Why? Because it implies that you can do it later.
Yes.
But I still want you to try it. You don't have to count loud enough that I can hear you. You can try it in your head, but I want you to concentrate on that this time. I want it, even if you fall apart. If you drop it right here, but you got these two measures while counting, that's still success to me. Even if you don't make it all the way through. If it's so distracting that you fall apart, I'm okay with it. I want you to try to count. 1 and 2 and a 4 and 1 and a 3 and 4 and a 2 and 3 and a 1 and 2 and a 4 and. And the thing that can help you here is look. 1, 4, 3, 2. It goes backwards. 1, a 2, and a 4, a 1, and a 3, and 4, and. Right? You count backwards. First one is on 1, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. 1, 4, 3, 2,
That's
1.
Easy. I'm gonna just do that.
Don't go too fast. A little bit.
2, 3, 4. I got all of them.
Okay.
And I messed up on 1. I did.
Okay, that's
like
all right.
3 and something.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you keep track of the bars. Okay.
I did.
Good.
I'm good.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do this time. This also might throw you, but I want to try. This one took a long time because I had to understand and feel where the bars were. If it's just a memorized pattern, it's no big deal, right? But it's difficult to recognize where it goes over the bar line because it's not even. It's not an even count. That's why it's different every time. Okay? This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clap on the downbeats. 1, a 2, and a 4, a 1, and a 3, a 4, and a 2, and 3, and a 1, and 2, and a 4, and.
Oh, wait, that's not going to throw me off.
Okay, show me.
I hope it won't.
Start on 4, dude.
I went for 4, and I went, that was wrong. Whoops.
I got you. With
You want to flip it and see if you can do it?
No.
Because the job that I have right now is actually harder.
Just count 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
1, 2.
Yeah,
3.
that's all you have to do. You want to try?
No.
That's it. It's really easy. Simple.
If you promise to go slow.
I can promise to go slow.
All right.
Okay.
You can't break your pinky promise.
I don't.
Use these sticks. They're easy.
As long as they're not sweaty.
They probably are.
All right. Let me get a feel,
Actually,
and
they're
if
not.
you change the time, I will tell you.
Don't tell on me. That's the tempo you want me to take?
No.
That was the bars he wanted you to play through.
Go at a slow tempo.
Oh, slow? 1, 2, 3.
That's slow.
Okay. Then you tell me. Give me a tempo.
Like a tempo kind of break it. Yes.
2. Clap on the downbeat. 3. 4. Pretty good, dude.
He clapped off me. He was like,
It's hard. You have to almost
I got
tune. You have to almost tune me out and just
I-
ignore what I'm doing and
I
concentrate
am.
here. Yeah, I bet.
I'm literally
That's how you make it happen.
3, 4, 1.
I'm still watching you play. That's
It's
why I
not.
put my
It's
head
not
down.
cheating. It's not cheating.
No, while cheating, you're doing that. You put your head down, stop looking, listening.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh. All right. So
My mind has exploded by now.
yeah. Well, good. So I'm gonna make a copy for you this week.
Thank you.
I want you to just run these.
I'm gonna run that one a million times. That's so easy.
Fantastic. I would love that because
never done
then
that.
you should be able to stop in every situation. So what if I take away beat 4? Yeah, it's hard to keep track of it, right? So this time, look at the music and see if you can. So
I got it, I got it.
hit your downbeat on 4. Don't continue playing through.
2, 3, 4.
I think this is probably the easiest. You hit the end of 4, which was cool. In jazz, that would work. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
You hit and 1. Not.
That's true. You did 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 upbeats. I was looking for a downbeat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. One or and 4?
It was 1. I waited.
I was gonna say that. I feel like anybody who knows my playing would listen to that and go, "Oh yeah, that's." You can hear me in that playing like some kind of hip hop, like almost Michael Jordan style thing, and then. It's like I just do random crap like that.
Alright,
Okay,
what's your dog win?
what the?
I just-
I'm out of time.
I just. No, we're not.
Yeah.